The night was still and quiet as Commander Ethan Mars stepped off his shuttle onto the landing pad of the alien city. Towering spires of crystalline architecture shimmered under the pale moons of Aurelia Prime, a planet at the edge of explored space. Ethan's diplomatic mission had been straightforward enough. Negotiate a trade deal with the Aurelian Matriarchy, an advanced alien civilization renowned for their energy technology. Yet, as he walked toward the council chambers, he had the unsettling feeling that the true purpose of his visit was about to reveal itself. Ethan was greeted by a tall, stately Aurelian woman whose vibrant blue skin seemed to glow faintly in the moonlight. Her white robes swept the floor as she gestured for him to follow her into the chamber. The council was already seated, a semicircle of elder Aurelians who watched him with eyes like molten gold. At the center of the gathering sat an elderly alien woman, her face etched with deep lines that spoke of wisdom and age beyond human comprehension. She leaned heavily on an ornate staff, her gaze piercing and unwavering. "Commander Mars," she said, her voice like the rustling of ancient leaves. "I am Elder Lasara, matriarch of this council. We welcome you to our world." Ethan nodded respectfully. "Thank you, Elder Lasara. It is an honor to be here." She inclined her head slightly, but there was a glint in her eyes that made Ethan uneasy. "You are here to discuss trade, but there is a matter of far greater importance to address first." Ethan's brow furrowed. "I wasn't informed of any additional matters." Lasara's thin lips curved into a smile. "Of course you were not. This is a delicate issue, one we could not entrust to mere emissaries. Tell me, Commander, are you familiar with the concept of the life bond?" Ethan blinked. "I'm afraid I'm not. It is a sacred union between two souls," she explained, her voice carrying the weight of tradition. "A bond that transcends species, culture, and even time." Ethan shifted uncomfortably. "I see. And what does this have to do with me?" The elder's smile widened. "My granddaughter, Vela, is of marrying age. She is a gifted healer and a brilliant scholar, but she has yet to find a suitable partner. Our ancient texts speak of a union that will strengthen the bond between our peoples. A union between an Aurelian and a human." Ethan's mouth went dry. You want me to marry your granddaughter?" The council murmured approvingly, and Lasara nodded. "Precisely." Ethan took a step back, raising his hands. "Elder Lasara, I'm flattered, but this is highly irregular. I came here to negotiate a trade agreement, not to enter into a marriage alliance." The elder's expression softened, but her gaze remained firm. "I understand your hesitation, Commander, but consider the implications. Our peoples have much to gain from such a union." Before Ethan could respond, the doors to the chamber opened, and a young Aurelian woman stepped inside. She was strikingly beautiful, with flowing silver hair and a graceful demeanor. Her golden eyes met Ethan's, and he felt a strange, unexplainable pull. "Grandmother, what is this about?" she asked, her voice melodic but tinged with annoyance. "Vela," Lasara said, "this is Commander Ethan Mars. He is the human I spoke of." Vela's eyes widened. "You cannot be serious." "It is foretold," Lasara said firmly. "You will bond with him, and together you will bring prosperity to our worlds." Ethan glanced at Vela, whose expression mirrored his own disbelief. "Look, we appreciate the thought, but this isn't something you can just decide for us." Lasara's gaze hardened. "The prophecy is clear, Commander. If this union does not occur, the future of both our peoples is in jeopardy." Ethan sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Prophecy or not, this isn't how humans approach relationships. We need time to get to know each other, to build trust and understanding." The elder studied him for a long moment before nodding. "Very well. You shall have one lunar cycle to decide. During this time, you will remain here and spend time with Vela. If at the end of the cycle you still refuse, we will not force you." Ethan exchanged a hesitant glance with Vela, who gave a barely perceptible shrug. "All right," he said reluctantly. "One lunar cycle." Over the following weeks, Ethan and Vela were inseparable, though not by choice. The council insisted they participate in various cultural rituals, from Aurelian feasts to spiritual meditations. At first, the two were awkward and distant, their interactions strained by the weight of expectation. But as they spent more time together, they began to see each other in a new light. Ethan discovered that Vela had a sharp wit and a deep curiosity about the universe beyond her homeworld. She was fascinated by human history and technology, often peppering him with questions about Earth. In turn, Vela shared stories of her people's traditions and taught Ethan about their advanced healing techniques, which relied on a harmonious blend of science and spirituality. One evening, as they strolled through the bioluminescent gardens of the Aurelian city, Vela turned to Ethan with a thoughtful expression. "Do you think there's any truth to my grandmother's prophecy?" Ethan shrugged. "I don't know. I've always been a man of logic and reason, not one to put stock in fate or destiny. But there's something about this place, about you, that feels different." Vela smiled softly. "I feel it too. Perhaps the prophecy is less about what's written and more about what we choose to make of it." As the lunar cycle drew to a close, Ethan found himself dreading the moment he would have to give his decision. He had come to admire and respect Vela, and the thought of leaving her behind filled him with an unexpected sense of loss. But the idea of marriage, a life bond, still seemed overwhelming. On the final night, the council convened once more. Elder Lasara's gaze was unreadable as she addressed Ethan. "Commander, the time has come. Have you made your decision?" Ethan looked at Vela, who met his eyes with a mix of hope and uncertainty. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward. "I came here expecting to leave with a trade agreement, not a life partner. But over the past weeks, I've come to see the wisdom in your ways and the strength in your people. Most of all, I've come to care for Vela in a way I didn't think possible." The council murmured in approval, but Ethan raised a hand. "That said, I believe that a union as important as this should be based on choice, not obligation. Vela, I'll only agree to this if it's what you truly want." All eyes turned to Vela, who stepped forward with a serene smile. "Ethan, I've come to respect and care for you as well. If this bond is to happen, let it be because we choose it, not because we are forced into it." Elder Lasara's eyes shone with approval. "Then it is decided." The following day, Ethan and Vela stood before the council and their people, their hands clasped as they exchanged vows that blended the traditions of both their cultures. The ceremony was simple yet profound, a testament to the unity they had chosen to forge. As they walked together through the jubilant crowd, Ethan leaned toward Vela with a grin. "So, does this mean I'm an honorary Aurelian now?" Vela laughed, her golden eyes sparkling. "We'll see if you can survive the initiation rites first."